Good to see you again.
Good to see you guys too.
Finals, right? I mean, not exactly the way you planned, but you're here, right? So what's the emotion like for you right now?
You know, it feels good to be here, man. I've said it on my social medias and stuff like that. It's a blessing, man. It's honestly a blessing to get that call once again and just prove who I am and make a statement here with the UFC.
That's awesome. What was the timeline? Obviously, you know, we found out when I think Dana told TMZ was how it broke or whatever, but I don't know if they were holding on to that. Like, when did you find out you were going to be here?
I literally found out right before that interview. Yeah, so they told me like 10 days notice. Yeah, but hey, man, I've been working hard and I've been training with the best in the world. You know, I've been working on some ground with Craig Jones in Austin, Texas, and you know, staying sharp with my brother Flacco. Yeah, just working with all my bros. I got all my bros in my corner this time, so I got all the confidence in the world that I need.
That's awesome. As far as training, I mean, but were you training for a fight? Like, did they have you on this card at all, or were you not on here?
You know, I wasn't on the card at all, to be honest. But I was just staying patient. My pops is my manager, so he basically told me like, "Hey, Gil, you got to do what you got to do. You know, stay busy, stay working, because the UFC is going to give you a call, whether it's 10 days notice like it is or a week's notice, you know, a couple days notice. You know, I'm ready, man. At 185 pounds, I'll be ready for anyone. And hopefully in the future I'll get the call at 170 pounds as well, and I'll run both the tables.
When you got the call, was there any discussion at all, or was it literally just like, yeah? Or I mean, did you go, well, let me talk to my team, we'll figure it out?
You know, Pops is the main man, so he said, yes, sir, we're fighting. He didn't even ask me. He just told me we're fighting. But, you know, that's how I started this career, you know. I was 18 in high school. Like I said, on my first interview with you guys, I lost my state wrestling match to get to the finals, and Pops knew I was pissed. To go to wrestle D1, I needed to win state, so my dreams of wrestling in college were over immediately. As soon as I lost, I knew it. That's why the tears came out. But Pops was like, man, go out there and leave it on the line. Like, go finish this tournament, and you know what's coming next, you know? And I was like, what's coming next? He's like, you're fighting. Let's go. So, yeah, it's cool, man. Me and my bros love this shit, so it's what we do.
Very cool. So talk about the matchup. Obviously a teammate. Give me the scouting report, the idea. How do you think you guys match up?
I think we match up good. You know, I've been telling the UFC and everybody asking me what do I think about the fight or how it'll play out. I've been watching the reel on the UFC where they show Stephan Bonner versus Forrest Griffin, and I see me and Bryan as two big bodies. You know, they were calling us the Twin Towers and stuff on the season, and you know, we're just two big bodies willing to put it all on the line.
That's awesome. So how would you judge your whole Ultimate Fighter experience? I mean, obviously it's a family tradition at this point. I'm assuming if you win, it'll be a little bit sweeter, but as it stands right now, what did you think about the whole experience?
You know, the experience is great, man. Going out there and just doing stuff on my own for the first time in my life really was awesome. When it came to cooking, like, my family had my back. They were like teaching me recipes and keeping me clean. My little brother John, actually, he's my chef. He just turned 18. He's been doing culinary for a couple of years. So you know, he's keeping me honest and stuff, and gave me some great pointers. Just being in my own mind, you know, and having to focus on my own and not have those affirmations from my brothers telling me that I'm the best, because they know it, you know. They train with me every day, and they know what I got.
That's awesome. And I guess last thing for me, how are you looking at this? I mean, it's kind of like a gift opportunity, right? So I mean, is this a, hey, whatever happens type thing, and this is just another step in the journey, or do you feel like, man, everything's on the line right here, I gotta win?
You know, this is another opportunity, and I'm just blessed to be here, like you said. But no, I'm not just taking this as whatever happens. I've been working hard for this opportunity. Ever since the tough show, I've been focused and I've been hungry. You know, my family knows it too. They didn't see the nicest Gilbert Urbina after the tough. You know, I was more in my head. I was a little bit more like ready to fight again. You know, I've been itching, and yeah, I'm just ready to, like you said, put it all on the line, man. That's what I definitely am going to do, and I'm going to win the Ultimate Fighter this season. I'm going to bring it home for the fam. Team Urbina, you already know. RGV 956, we coming. You know, like, we're representing all of Texas too. Like I said, I was training in the capital, Austin, Texas. I got great training partners out there. I can't wait for after this fight to get back out there and keep evolving. You know, whether it's at 10th Planet Austin with those guys out there, with the B team, Craig Jones, the B team. Shout out to the B team. You know, like, hey, I'm on the B team. You know, they gave me this shot. I didn't make the A list. I didn't make the finale, but they had to call into the B team and call Gilbert Urbina out here to put on a show.
Do you feel like that possibly you winning in this manner could possibly mean a little bit more than if you had gone through just like normal, like anybody else, having to come in on short notice? Would that be a little bit sweeter, you think?
You know, I come to fight every time, every single fight I come to fight my best fight, and you know, I may feel those emotions after the fight, but I'm just so zoned in and focused on what I got to do. Having my brothers with me too, like I said, is just such an advantage because throughout the season I didn't have that. You know, I didn't have people to talk to really. I kind of stayed on my own. I don't know if you guys noticed on the season, a lot of these guys were mutually hanging out with each other, playing cards. And it was cool, you know. I can't knock them. You're trying to kill time, but to me, it was preparing, it was recovering, it was just being in my head. I was a little in my head, you know, and not the most motivated Gilbert Urbina, but now that I have my family with me and my people with me, I'm gonna do great things.
And just a fun one, was there anything that happened in the house that didn't make it on the show that you feel like fans might have been interested in?
Other than the one funny thing is those Aussies, they like to play, they like to make bets, and if you lose the bets, you got to do a nudie run. And one funny thing was Brian and Ryder ended up losing a bet in a game of pool, and they did a nudie run. It was like, man, what are you guys doing, bro? And they kept chasing that shit after like the end of the season. They were here in the Apex. They actually did a nudie run throughout the Apex just for fun. And I was like, you guys are fucking wild, but you know, people do what they want to do for TV time. Hey, it's cool, man. No, all respect, like. They're having fun, you know. If that's what fun is for them, that's cool. It would have been fun for the people to see at least. The people would have been like, "What the hell are these guys doing? Why are they doing a nudie run?" But yeah, it was funny.
Thank you for sharing that experience with the Division One and all that, and brought you to this point. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. How much more dangerous is somebody out of the B team? Because we know you guys wanted just a little bit more.
Yeah, you know. It's kind of like Craig Jones was saying, like being on the B team, it's like he's used to taking second place. He's used to being the underdog, you know, and I kind of like it too. It's like people have been counting me out and stuff like that, you know, like it's cool. It's all good, man. Honestly, everybody can say what they want to say. Everybody's got the free right to say what they want to say, and you know, all blessings to everybody, regardless if it's good or bad. I'm stepping out here to do my job, man, and I love this stuff, so.
And if you could make a prediction, looking for the finish, or we get, you know, just 15 minutes of war.
You know, it's going to be 15 minutes of war for sure. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing it's going to be all 3 rounds, but I always look for the finish. So, you know, just be ready to see Killer Gilbert Urbina Saturday night.
All right, Killer Gilbert it is. Good luck Saturday.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
956, baby.
Oh. What's going on, brother? How are you? Good. Welcome back. You made it, or have you made it? Do you feel like you made it, or is there still one more step to go before you can feel that way?
One more challenge, and then I made it. Almost there.
That's awesome. But to get to this point is an accomplishment in itself, right? So what's the emotion like for you right now?
Oh, I'm so blessed and grateful. It's honestly a dream. I see myself on the TV, and it just like makes me smile. I can't help it.
You come in, and I mean, obviously everybody says, "Oh, I'm going to win." But I mean, talk about the process. I mean, did you really feel like, "Oh, I know I got this 100%," or is that kind of like, "Geez, I don't know. This is going to be a challenge."
It definitely was a challenge, but I was extremely confident, and it stemmed from like my team being super confident in me, and I just have all the belief in myself, and I think that's the key that took me here so far.
And I guess you weren't 100%, right? I mean, doing this, so you were battling through injury basically the entire season.
Yeah, so it was pretty weird, right? Like in the first week, I was grappling, and after like talking to a doctor, it looks like I strained my meniscus, and so the entire season I've been dealing with it. I had to wear a knee brace. There'd be sometimes in practice where it would buckle, and it'd be kind of weird. So, but yeah, it was just a small hiccup in the road, and I didn't put too much thought into it, and I was just focusing on the fights and just winning the fights.
Was there any part of you that was like, I mean, did you consider like, maybe I can't fight, maybe I need to withdraw, or I mean, was that even a discussion point?
Not even a close. I was actually, it took me a while to even tell anybody because I was so scared that it might even like get me out of the competition. So I mentioned it to one of my coaches like in secret because I didn't want anyone to know because I was like, I'm going to win this show. I want to be in here the whole time. But eventually I started telling them, and then the UFC PI started working on it a little bit, and they're working with me a lot. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. So at this point, I mean, I guess you probably wouldn't want to disclose too much, but are you 100% healthy, or is this kind of like, well, we'll get through this fight and then we'll figure it out?
No, I'm healthy now. I'm ready to go. I took a lot of time. I think I got out about 3 months ago. So the first month of being out, I spent a lot of time in rehab, and I came down here to the PI for a while, and my mom's a nurse practitioner, so she helped me a lot with that. And so, yeah, I did a lot of rehab, and I feel 100% ready to go.
That's awesome. So in some ways, if all we've ever seen of you is what we saw on the show, do you feel like we scouted the wrong guy? Like do you feel like you didn't get to show everything because of what you were dealing with?
I think I think you guys saw a good portion of me, but I think there's a little bit of my game that wasn't shown on the show. A lot of my kicks weren't able to be used just because I couldn't, step on that leg weird and a few things like that. But yeah, it doesn't matter now. I'm ready to showcase what I got this Saturday.
That's awesome. Of course, a big fight for you. Fighting a teammate, is that a good thing, bad thing? I think on the one hand, at least you probably know what you're facing. On the other hand, he probably knows you a little bit. So is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it just is what it is. I kind of had that same situation with Josh, right? We were roommates, even closer friends than me and Ricky. Me and Ricky are really close friends, but me and Josh were, I think, closer friends. And we had trained a couple times in Spokane. So, it's a same thing, different story, I guess. But, I'm ready to go. Either way, it's going to be a good fight, and I'm ready to put on a show.
Nice, Ricky. Obviously, quite the character. What do you think about him as a fighter? I mean, how do you feel he's going to present to you as a challenge?
Yeah, I love Ricky. He's a cool guy, and I think as a fighter, he has good cardio, has a good pace. He's wild. He makes it interesting, and I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be an interesting fight, but I think it's definitely in my favor. I feel like it's one-sided. Nice.
Last thing for me, how are you looking at this? I mean, you're such a young guy. I feel like, I know you don't want to think it doesn't go your way, but it does. You got a lot of future ahead of you is what I'm saying. So what does this moment mean to you? I mean, does it feel like everything's on the line, or is it just another fight?
No, I feel like every fight is everything's on the line. I put my all into my training, into my fight camps, and so I think with this, I'm taking it just like every other fight. This is my fight. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna put on the best performance I can, and I'm gonna go show everybody what I'm really about.
I've got just a fun one over here for you.
Yeah.
I asked Gilbert if there was anything that happened during the season that didn't end up on air that you think the fans would like. He mentioned a nudie run. I'm wondering if you have a different story, perhaps.
Yeah, the nudie run of Ryder and Bryan was pretty funny. I'm trying to think of anything that comes to mind. Oh, my favorite by far, Scrappy, Dustin Lampros. He chugged an entire bottle of Howlerhead. Oh, Jesus. And they had it on camera, and I'm so surprised they didn't do this, especially because it's Dana White's whiskey. He chugged an entire bottle of Howlerhead, and we went to the coaches challenge right after, and obviously he's acting a little tipsy. and Dana gives him $2,000. He's like, "Good show, kid," and he's like, "Are you okay though? Do we need to call the doctor?" But it was great. It was hilarious. And then after that, everyone else is like, "Oh, Dana White's giving out money. Let's take Chuggin Hallerhead on the cage." It was, oh my gosh, that was probably the best.
Did Dana know that he had chugged it? Is that why he gave him the?
Yeah, because he did it right before we left, and like, you know, Ortega and Volkanovski, we were all just chilling in the house, getting ready to leave in the vans, and Dustin pulls out the Hallerhead and he starts chugging it, and then everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, that's crazy." So I think someone told Dana, and then when we get there, Dana walks up to me and is like, "Dude, you are a champion," and gives him $2,000. Shout out Dustin. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't make it on the season. That would have been a cool one.
Yeah, free commercial for him, right?
Exactly. Yeah, maybe he didn't like it because it didn't show how strong the whiskey is or something. But yeah.
Thanks for taking the time. I mean, you mentioned it was a one-sided bout. Expand on that. Like, where the strengths that you see that you pretty much got this one in the bag?
Oh, between me and Ricky? Oh, I just feel like my pressure. I feel like, you know, I'm confident in what I got. You know, I feel like my striking's great and it's always improving. My grappling's strong. I feel like I'm super athletic, and you know, I wouldn't go in there thinking that I'm going to lose. So I think I'm going to go in there and I'm going to win, and it's going to be one-sided.
Excellent. Best of luck on Saturday, if you need it.
No, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Law and order.
Hey.
So talk about, I mean, is this kind of got that big fight feel? I feel like a lot of people are looking at it as a big one.
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty much the biggest name I fought so far.
No question about it. I feel like there's been a lot of a buzz after your last couple performances. You know, a lot of people really excited about where you are in your career. Do you feel that as well? That there's a lot more excitement about where you stand right now?
Yeah, man. I think it's there's like after the last fight, there was a big question like, what's next? Who's next? You know, and opportunity came up. Big ass name, big opportunity, and that last fight went so good. I didn't take no damage. It was only like I only had rested like 2 weeks. I was a week back into training already, trying to ease into it, and then bam, name pops up, and I'm like, dude, let's go,
How did the opportunity come about? I mean, obviously you're stepping in here, so did they call you? Did you put your hand in the air? How did it come together?
I threw my hand in the air. I remember one day I was going through my feed. I see Sean Brady was, injured, and I saw that as an opportunity. I've been asking for big name opponents. And there it is, So I talked to my manager, told him to throw my name in the mix. It took him a couple days to agree to it. He had went and called out Mike Perry and a couple other names, that I felt like were not the best options. I feel like I'm probably the most difficult, option that he was calling out. So nobody wanted to step up and fight him, and I was the only one that was down to do it.
That's awesome. So during those couple days, are you training and getting ready like he's going to say yes, or do you wait to see what happens?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure if he would say yes or no because I'm not that well known of a fighter, but I am a challenge and I am a threat, So, I started getting ready. It actually lit a fire up my ass to get up and go train because like, yo, this fight might happen, and if it does, I need to be ready, And it really wasn't like I was starting from scratch, I was like, I had just took off 2 weeks. My whole last fight camp was like heavy on the wrestling. So I was like, man, all I got to do is just, tune up the wrestling shit and, just go in there and do what I do.
You talked about, obviously, the name. Obviously, he certainly has that. What did you think about the stylistic matchup? Is there anything about that appealed to you, or is it basically just the name value?
Nah, at the end of the day, I feel like I'm a way better striker than him. He may have some challenges on the feet with the wrestling. Everybody's like, oh man, he's gonna take you down, this and that, and but I don't care about that, bro. Like my whole career, I've been training for dudes trying to take me down because my hands are so good, So I mean, that last fight camp, I was supposed to fight the Russian, and if I was scared about wrestling or takedowns, I wouldn't try to fight that guy, So Kevin Lee's just another wrestler going to try to take me down once I start to put it on him.
Nice. You win here, as you said. I mean, I feel like there's this buzz, this momentum building around you. I mean, have you started to think about what's next? I mean, are you looking at rankings, at fighting again quickly? I mean, what comes after a win here?
Shit, man. Whoever wants it, like I said, it's my job to stay ready and prepared for these short notice little fights that pop up and opportunities, And I feel great. I'm in my prime. I'm on a roll right now. I got great momentum. And it's just I feel like all that's gonna come into play. Like I've been active. He hasn't. So I've been back-to-back hard fight camps, tough fights, and I feel like that's gonna show. That has a lot to do with how mentally focused I am in this fight. So I'm ready, bro.
Nice. Last thing for me, what kind of fight do you think we see here? As you said, I think a lot of people will striker versus grappler type fight. I mean, do you think you're going to have to battle and wrestle over and over? Or do you feel like you just get this done on the feet dominantly?
Definitely sprawl and brawl. You know what I mean? That's how it's going to be. I feel like I'm gonna have success stuffing his takedowns, defending takedowns. For the most part, I don't really get taken down that much. And if I do, I pop right back up. So that's pretty much we've been working on, and my hands are there. My striking is there, So it's really just polishing up the fucking takedowns and all that stuff,
D-Rod, thanks for taking the time. How much better is it to take the short notice fights as opposed to having to think about Kevin 2 months and just overthink? Short notice, bam, good to go.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I feel like I perform my best with a longer fight camp. but at the same time, like I had just had a fight camp similar to what I would have been doing if it was, So it's kind of like it kind of works out, having a short fight camp. I don't take a lot of injuries. I don't overtrain. I just do just enough, just what I have to do. I know what I got to do, and my coaches make me, do what they feel the fight is gonna, play out to be. But it's really just a conditioning thing. Once I get my body conditioned to be able to perform, I feel like the time that was given, it was about 3 weeks. It was perfect amount of time. A good hard 2 weeks and 1 week of just, fine tuning and here we are today.
That's perfect. So what do you walk around at? If you could just, it won't be a hard weight cut or nothing.
The highest I ever get is like 192, 193, and that's when I'm eating burritos and tacos but I'm always ready for the most part. Like I'm always working out. I don't have no hobbies. I don't have no hobbies. I don't know what to do with my life. If I'm not in the gym, I don't know what the hell I don't know what to do, So I stay in the gym. I stay working out, and everything I do revolves around this UFC shit.
And that's a good thing. If you stay ready, so you don't have to get ready, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I think me taking all these short notice calls says that.
And for sure, and this fight has that, in behalf of the social media, whatever fans, this has that vibe where it jumps out, kind of like when Costa was fighting Giannis. Like you look through the card and you think, okay, in a couple of years, this would have been a main event on a fight night. So how does that give you that extra boost to where people are talking about Kevin Lee and D-Rod?
Oh man, I know everybody's talking. This my whole, Instagram feed and Facebook is blown up, and a lot of people, got my back on this one, I think this is one of those opportunities that you see when like the nobody goes against the somebody, and this is gonna be one of them cases where that somebody becomes a somebody, and that nobody becomes a somebody. I feel like I'm very underestimated and underrated in the welterweight division, and I feel like this is an opportunity to show everybody what I'm really made of.
Perfect, man. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Well, what's the feel like for you right now? Is this like bittersweet at all, or is it like, hey man, I'm here and that's all that matters? What's the emotion like for you?
There's nothing bittersweet about being here. Obviously, the show didn't turn out the way that I had hoped for, but I'm here, so no, it's all sweet.
That's awesome. So obviously you didn't know right away that you were going to get the opportunity. So I mean, the gamble pays off. You're on the show. It doesn't go your way. What's the feeling like then? I mean, were you able to stay positive, or was it kind of a tough experience?
No, I was able to stay positive. I've got a phenomenal support system with my wife, with my team, my coaches, and we just stayed the course. In the event something like this happened, we didn't know if we were going to have to take another fight outside of this. But regardless, I had already quit my job, which so we were able to take that time and really focus on just training in the event this came, or really go in for the next fight, and hopefully get here eventually.
Nice. When did you find out that you were going to be on this card?
Last Tuesday. So just like the Ultimate Fighter, it's all been last minute. So
That's crazy. So you just get a call and it's like, oh, by the way, do you want to fight on the card?
yeah, I was laying in bed resting from my first practice going into my second, and I got a text message, and it was a number that I didn't recognize, and I normally don't answer those when I'm taking a nap before practice. And I looked at it, and it was Mick. I said, hey, this is Mick from the UFC. Are you able to make weight, for the finale? And I was like, of course. And I didn't even know if he was talking about 185 or 170. So, but the answer is always yes. Yeah.
Oh, lightweight. Oh, yeah, I'll make it.
Yeah, whatever it is.
That's awesome. So, I mean, you were training, like you said. I mean, like how intense were you hoping? I mean, were you holding out hope that maybe something like this would pop up?
Yeah, when I first started and I got back to Michigan from being on the Ultimate Fighter, we were all in training as if it were fight camp. As it got closer to the 28th and we saw the card was pretty full, we did think, okay, it's probably not going to happen on this card, but something's going to come up, and so we just stayed training.
That's awesome. So what do you think about the matchup? I mean, did it matter to the opponent or anything, or is it just we're going to take it?
No, the opponent didn't matter, and when I got the text message, they didn't tell me opponent or anything right away, and I'm looking on the card for all the other middleweights that were there, and I was like, Jesus Christ, there's some monsters on here. So then he said, we're looking to match you up with Andre, and Andre obviously was also on Team Ortega, and he and I became friends. He's one of the 2 to 3 people I kept in contact with after the house. So when they said they're looking to match me up with Andre, I know he's trying to get in, I'm trying to get in, so we'll go out there and we'll be opponents, and afterwards there's back to friends.
Have y'all talked at all since the matchup was made?
Not since the matchup has been made. I saw him on the bus going to Whole Foods, shook his hand or whatever, but I think he's in his zone. I need to be in my zone. We got to push that other stuff aside and really go out there and compete as athletes and opponents.
Nice. Obviously, you have respect for him as, I guess, a friend. What do you think about him as a competitor? What do you think about his game?
Strong competitor. Obviously, he's physically fit, physically strong, and he's a good matchup. He's going to be a good addition to the UFC, and I'm glad that both of us are going to get this shot to show what we're about.
Nice. Last thing for me, I guess. So how are you feeling about? I mean, like, how are you looking at this? You know what I mean? Like you put all in and you got the chance. And it just seems like everything's kind of going your way. I mean, do you feel like this is a big moment, a must-win type situation, or do you feel pretty comfortable things will just work out the way they have been?
I'm never comfortable things are just going to work out. I really put in the work and effort to hopefully make those things into fruition. I'm going to go in there obviously to win. Coming into the Ultimate Fighter and fighting so quick and just not getting the results that I want, I don't think that I can afford to have a performance like that again and the UFC keep me around. That's not their brand. So there is a little bit of pressure there to go out and perform, but it's something that was eating at me already because I didn't get to in the first place. Everything coming in. I will take the 10 days notice versus 2 days notice. You have a little bit more time to process the feelings, the adrenaline, the excitement, all of the things that come with it, and then kind of ease into fight week, having dealt with all of those initial emotions where I didn't really get that opportunity coming into the house.
I've got a fun one for you. We've been asking all the guys about something that maybe happened in the house that didn't make it on TV that you think we should know about, a funny moment, anything like that. We heard about a nudie run and a howler head incident.
Both of those are pretty funny. I didn't expect the naked run. That was interesting happened here at the Apex. I think Cameron, I can't remember who it was, maybe Ryder, threw him into the pool on his, he was on the lounge recliner, whatever you call those. He threw that in the pool. That was pretty funny because there'd been a discussion, the Toyo Tires Challenge that we did, Volkanovski actually cheated to start that. He switched our gun from reverse to forward, and we didn't know it, and that didn't get aired. So I texted Volk and asked if he paid somebody to not put that in there, but he was kind of upset that it wasn't in there. So that was kind of funny. I mean, fair play on him to go and do that because it's all just fun stuff.
Good.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, sir. stylish as always.
Of course.
Talk about the feel right now. I mean, right? This is. I mean, it's not the ultimate goal, but this is one of those tick marks along the way, right? What's the feel right now ahead of your first main event?
For the beginning, when I heard about it, of course, I got super excited. And plus a little bit of the pressure before I was feeling it from the Georgia, you know, like to represent the first time. It's a big deal for us. But now it's a part of the job. I've been in the big shows before in kickboxing. I headlined the Glory couple of events, and now we're here. It's just a part of the job. But I'm enjoying, man. I'm enjoying. And when I'm enjoying and when I'm happy, that's when I'm the most dangerous guy. So
That's awesome. Has it been a bother? I mean, I know you end up with like added responsibilities, right? Like more media, more things to do. Has it been a bother for you, or you got it down?
no, I don't think so. I feel like I'm enjoying it, you know. It was a dream always for me. Since I was a kid, I wanted the big crowd. I wanted all the media attention. And I know I deserve it too, you know. I'm excited to show you guys even more, and now just taking the chance to enjoy this moment and keep moving forward.
It's been an impressive run so far in the UFC, right? Not many people come in and win as many fights in a row as you have to start their UFC career. So, what do you think that the key has been for your success so far?
I had a couple of winning streaks before, and in Contender Series, I witnessed a losing fight. And since then, I changed a lot. That moment, I was fighting in kickboxing. Pretty much, I was getting paid from kickboxing to invest my money into MMA career. Because I live here with my family, with 2 kids and wife, you know, and I didn't have a chance to be the evolving MMA. So I had to do jiu-jitsu with white belt. I started competing in blue belts and purple belt. I got my walls in blue belts, which people don't know about it. Then I went so it was a hard journey first. And once I lost the fight, I said that, no, I have to retire from kickboxing. Because once I retired, I concentrated more on this jiu-jitsu and ground game, more on the wrestling. Went in a college wrestling. I started, went with the young kids. You know, some people, like the parents would come and see, like, who's this weirdo 30-year-old man, like they're wrestling with my 12-year-old kid, you know? But I knew that it was a part. I had to do it. And slowly, I concentrated more. I mean, after Contender Series, I had a lot of hard times. You know, I didn't know what I was gonna do, what I would do, because I say no to Glory, I say no to Bellator, I say no to Ryzen, I say no to Karate Combat, and because all my plans were UFC, and then I lost Contender Series. I was in a hard position, definitely. But once I concentrated on these small, big problems which I had before, everything went fine. I'm in the best camp, I'm in the best team now, and all these, my teammates sharing my knowledge, my coaches, I feel like I'm in the best spot right now and getting every day a little bit better and better.
Question. Well, obviously, I know you would fight anybody, but this matchup, when it was announced, people were pretty excited about it because of the styles. Did it excite you as well? I mean, did it bring a little like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun?
Definitely, man. Edson is a big name. He's a bigger name than some of the top 5 guys. I was calling out top 5 names because I wanted to move forward to the title quicker, faster, which is fair. You know, when you have some nice winning streak and also what I've done people forget sometimes what I've done in my sports career. You know, I was a couple of times world champion in karate, a couple of times world champion in kickboxing. But I'm talking about highest level, you know. I'm not talking just a regular, the home backyard kickboxing fights, you know. So, yeah, it's I wanted to have a ranked higher opponent, but Edson is a big name. And once I pass this challenge, then I'm ready for whatever, man. Like even the highest level.
Did you watch him? Like, I mean, have you watched his career? He seems like the kind of fighter that you would tune into and be like, hey, I like his style.
I know this guy very well. I know what he brings on the table. He fought my teammate, my brother, and this is also which really bothers me since that time, and it kind of feels like a rematch to me. Yeah, I mean, he's a nice, entertaining style, you know, like the people call him the best striker in MMA and the UFC, till I come, you know. And now I'm here, I have a chance to prove it, what I've said, and excited, man, really excited, because the fans gonna enjoy, fans gonna remember this fight as one of the best fights. I believe he's gonna come strong, I believe he's gonna bring his 100% game, but as I said, striking for MMA is one thing, but striking, highest level striking, when you're proven in a different sport, different like highest stages when you've been, it's different, man. I feel like he gonna feel that, oh, that's not who I am in real. Of course, definitely he's a very good striker, but I don't see the fight go anywhere that I can lose. I'm just being honest. We'll see. But yeah.
I was gonna say, what kind of fight do you see? Because you talk about how much you've improved your wrestling and your grappling, and he's shown that that's a weakness throughout his career, right? People have been able to out-grapple him. So in some ways, it might be like, hey, we could out-grapple this guy pretty easily, but knowing your pedigree in striking, are you wanting to go out there and show the world that I'm the best striker?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a whole challenge. That's why I accept Edson fight. People call him the best striker inside UFC, and I want to take his title. What was a BMF belt? Now it's like the best striker belt, maybe, or something like that. It's a real Mortal Kombat fight. I feel like two ninjas gonna go there, and gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm excited, man. Really. Can't wait. Like, I have goosebumps when I think about it. And just want to show fans who I am in the real. Because I was saying, if you remember back in the days, like maybe a year ago, that their fans only have seen this amount of Giga. And now they're going to see more and more. Now I have an opponent who brings something really entertaining, that when I bring something against him, the big, then people can stamp and say that, yeah, you were right. So every time I fought before, like, people were saying that, oh, Giga fought cans or something, smashing the cans and stuff, which is not true. I was fighting one of the really good fighters. Yeah, there's some cases where like short notice for them, but at the same time, short notice was for me too. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right?
Last thing for me, as you said, big name here. I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. It's a main event. I mean, everything's good. There's definitely going to be big opportunities for you after a win here. So what is the plan after this? Is it chase after those top 5 guys again? Is it stay ready to fight every week? Like, I think you'd probably fight next week if you could. What's the plan after this one?
This time I'll be different. I'm going to say this. First thing first, I know I have a good challenge, because what I've said, I have to prove it. I'm the man of my words. And once I prove it, Saturday night, we're going to talk again.
Thank you for taking the time to meet with us.
My pleasure.
So this is for the BMFS belt, so the best striker. How has training been for this one? Because this is a 5-round main event, or have you ever been told, hey, you might replace somebody, get ready for 25 minutes? What's been the changes, acclimating, training, all that good stuff for 25 versus 15?
Definitely. I fought a 5-round fight in kickboxing, but this is absolutely different thing. Camp was a little different. We had a little bit more time to prepare as well. And it was a challenging, for the beginning, always some little bit of the injury comes and you overcome. But it's a 2-month camp, when you have a 2 months. Of course, there will be something injuries also. but I'm glad it was beginning of the camp, not later. So everything went well. Cardio training was really fun because everyone was talking about before my lack of cardio, like last year maybe. And this time I was pushing crazy. We changed a little bit of program. We added some rounds. Let's say if I was training like sprints for 20 minutes, now we're doing 30. Like we grow everything. And it's really, you can really see how I progressed. Besides it, let's say if we were sparring the 5 round, now we did 10, you know, like it was a fun. It was definitely a fun. And I also felt a lot of love and support from my team, which I'm really blessed and appreciate all of them. Yeah, well, also my diet's been really good. Back like November fight last year when I fought, I made the weight like 8 days or something. It was crazy. I was from almost 180 and then came down to 145. So it was really crazy. Now this time I'm very light and feeling very strong, feeling very good, happy.
That's excellent. And you touched on that briefly. So there was a hiccup early in camp, injury?
I can talk about this later after the
understood.
fight, but definitely it's always a challenge to stay when you have a long camp, which I never had before.
Right.
I mean, with the Cub I had a little bit of time, definitely, but before that fight, I did not really had some time to prepare well. Only like week, 10 day, 12 day, 12 days was the max or something. And now it's been very smooth cuts, you know, but besides, yeah. Camp was fun, I would say like that.
That's great to hear. That's the most dangerous you mentioned when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Something real interesting, you mentioned this is like a rematch. So you're saying you're going in with a little bit of an extra edge because a teammate has already seen Edson, so you have some tape, you know what to expect.
Yeah, definitely. I was his sparring partner, my brother's sparring partner. We were preparing together for this fight, you know. Pretty much like I was a fake Edson at that time. Yeah, man, I never really talk about that loud, but that day, after the Edson knockout, that day, I was feeling so bad, almost had the heart problems that day, you know. My brother was winning the fight and some firework happened. Congrats to Edson, but now I feel very mad on that. I mean, since then. So we'll see, yeah.
Excellent. Well, it's real scary when someone smiles and they're looking for revenge, so good luck on Saturday, sir.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Sir.
Quick question over here for all the UFC sneakerheads in the world. I see you're rocking the Chunky Dunks today out there from Nike. Are you a full-blown sneakerhead or just rocking it because it fit the fit?
I'm a little bit sneakerhead, yeah, definitely. I have some nice collection. Shout out to Riff LA. Yeah, I have my people there who hook me up all the time. Some new Travis Scott's I just got. I want to rock on a fight day later. Oh!
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Nicely done. Nicely done. Good luck on Saturday.
thank you. Shout out to all my team, Kings MMA, Chase Your Dreams, Michael Perez Wrestling, everyone who helped me, and my sponsors, Acharabet, Petrokas, Models Company, who we have else? Saigon Sports Club, definitely Monsters. Thanks for support. Take care, guys.
Ricky, good to see you again. Talk about the emotion right now, right? I mean, I know there's still one more step to go, right? But getting here is an accomplishment in itself, man. So what's the emotion like for you right now?
If I could keep it very presently right now in this moment, my emotions are, I'm very happy today on this Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? I'll share with you real quick a quick story that happened this morning for a minute real quick. Yeah, like when I woke up this morning on this Wednesday, I was sleeping in the room, you know what I mean? And then one funny story, I was in there, I was having a dream, bro. I was having a dream, and in the dream, I was eating some chicken wings, bro, in the dream. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, did I eat that? And then I was like, okay. Oh, that was a dream because I'm cutting weight right now or whatever. I'm getting my weight down. So, okay, I didn't eat chicken wings. But then when I woke up, too, from the dream, I woke up and I'm like, whoa, where am I right now? And I was like, this ain't my room. And I'm like, oh, yeah, because you're in that kind of in the days, you know what I'm saying, when you first waking up. And I was like, oh, man, yeah, I'm at the hotel right now. We at the UFC Inn right now. And all right, I'm here right now at this spot. And I was like, all right, cool, man. I'm chilling. My weight's good. My body's good. My spirit's good at this moment. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just very thankful. I'm very thankful at this moment. You know what I'm saying? That, hey, out here and this time right now, do another interview. We chopping it up again. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very cool. And now, you know what I'm saying? On Saturday, enter the octagon again one more time for another battle. You feel me? My favorite thing on earth. So, hey, it's a blessing for sure. I'm thankful.
That's awesome. How would you describe your experience on The Ultimate Fighter? Some people, you know, love the challenge that it presents and enjoy the time, and some people say, I hated it, I'd never go back in that house again, it was terrible. What did you think of your experience on The Ultimate Fighter?
I could say that, yeah. Two things I'll say. Number one, it was the most, as far as my martial arts career goes, it was the most intense thing I had to do in all of my martial arts. I definitely am very thankful for that, for the path that I had to take to make it here to this moment now, going through The Ultimate Fighter. The isolation portion of the tournament like this in round one and round two, living there in this house, you feel me? We're having to grind every single day and train every single day. That was incredible. You feel me? Training twice a day with the Volkanovski team. One of the things that I learned too, you know what I'm saying, is how much my body can take in this sense of we're in here grinding every day, training 2 hours a day on this world championship regiment, you feel me? But then we're in the combination of we're living in the isolation of this crazy house, and then you got to fight. And then, thank God, I got the first victory in the first round. But then 14 days later was the semifinal, and I'm waking up in the morning and my elbow hurts, my leg hurts, and I'm like, and I got to go back to practice, you know, 2 days later, and I got to stay focused, you know what I'm saying? And so all I would tell myself was literally just like, hey, man, this is it. This is life right now, you know what I mean? You're in the pain, and it's all good, you know what I mean? Forget about it, you know what I'm saying? You're just here. Just keep going. Just keep going. And that is the story I could say real quick on a small portion of that, of how the intensity of the isolation was crazy because we don't have our family, we don't have our friends, we don't have no coach, or we don't have our home coaches, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to our coaches we had, though, for the Volkanovski squad, because they made us all, we were all close with the coaching staff, and as well, my friends on Blue Team, too, we all were very close, you know what I'm saying? So we made that brotherhood, sweating together, grinding together every day. So the isolation part, it was very crazy and unique, you know what I mean? Because we got to do it for 6 weeks, you know, in comparison to, you know, other times you just win that one fight, you know what I mean, and you get signed, and that's awesome too, you know what I mean? But I'm very thankful that I had to go through the tough path, you know what I mean? Literally the tough path and the tough path to UF, you know what I mean? So I'm happy for sure. That was great. And also too, it was fun too. I'm not going to lie. It was fun. It was a lot of that pain too, but hey, I was having a good time too. So real talk.
That's awesome, man. Well, you made it to the finals. You know the opportunity that's in front of you. Facing a teammate, though, right? You talked about the closeness there. I mean, does that make this more challenging and more difficult for you to have to face a teammate, or is it easy to put that aside and just say, you know, I'm going for what's mine, basically?
facing one of my teammates from the Volkanovski squad in Brady, it doesn't make it any more difficult. You feel me? The challenge of a high intensity mixed martial arts fight is a incredible challenge all on its own every time that you step into the ring and into the heat of battle. Anytime you fight, whether you're fighting in the octagon or you're fighting in the desert or in the beach or in a snowy mountain in the north side, you know, it's always a fight is a fight, and it's always a challenge. It's a very intense and crazy situation we put ourselves in as martial artists, you know. So I just have stayed focused on that task at hand, you know, that I have another opponent in front of me. It's Brady. It's all respect between me and him, you know what I mean? All respect before, after the fight, you know what I'm saying? But inside the octagon, we both know what we signed up for. It's time to fight. We're going to have to settle it on Saturday for sure, you know what I'm saying?
Do you take anything out of like the training sessions that you guys had? I mean, do you feel like, oh, I know everything this guy does. I know every move he makes. Is it, I mean, do you feel like you can scout him based off your experiences together?
Yeah, I guess without giving away too much, I would say that that's just the interesting, weird part. You know what I mean? Usually, when you're fighting an opponent, it's another person, and they're like somewhere else on the other part of the globe. You know what I mean? And you don't know them until you get to see them on the day of the fight. You just study tape or whatever. But yeah, this is the first time that actually I have to fight a person that I actually, you know, trained with every day for, you know, for the 5 weeks, 6 weeks we were there interacting, but we were training together, and obviously, you know, we were having great conversations together, you know, joking together, cooking together, you know what I'm saying, playing games, playing chess, you know what I'm saying, playing cards, you know what I'm saying, doing all that stuff, you know. So obviously we interacted a lot during our time, you know what I mean, me and Brady and me and all the boys on Blue Team, like I said, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, it definitely adds a different dynamic to it, you know what I mean. Probably the only time it would be like this is on The Ultimate Fighter, right, you know what I mean. So hey, it makes for The Ultimate Fighter is interesting, bro, you know what I mean. I'm glad I got to be a part of it for sure. And Saturday, it's time for the conclusion of it all, you know. Let's go.
That's awesome. I would say last thing for me, that conclusion. I mean, what's it going to mean to you in your life to win the Ultimate Fighter? You know, it's been a journey to get here. You'll have a UFC contract. You'll have the notoriety of being on this show. What will this victory mean to you?
For me, winning on Saturday, what would it mean to me? It would mean just an incredible feeling deep in my soul, you know, and deep in my heart. Obviously, as martial artists and as fighters, every time you step into the ring, you step into the octagon, they say, it's like written on the wall at the PI over there, and it says, like, you know, the invitation is the capturing of the glory. I can remember from my very first fight in Muay Thai inside the ring when I won my very first championship belt at the IKF, you know, as a young boy. And, you know, I won the entire tournament. They held me high, you know what I'm saying? My boys carried me, you know what I'm saying? My boy Morono was there. He right there in the back, too. That's my dad. You my boy Morono. Great memories, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, they wrapped the belt around me. I can remember I was like 16 years old, and that type of feeling when you win is it's an incredible feeling. And that's why we as fighters, we always step back and risk it all every time, you know what I mean? Over and over again. You're like, oh man, this is so scary, this is so crazy, but I'm doing it again, and I'm doing it again, I'm gonna do it again, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you take that risk, but you take this risk in search of that feeling that you feel deep in your heart when you conquer the challenge, you know what I mean? Life only gives us tall mountains and tall challenges so that we may rise to the occasion and conquer them, you know what I mean? And the journey pushes us too, you know what I mean? This whole journey of the Ultimate Fighter, but as well through my whole martial arts life, you know what I'm saying? I have another tough challenge in front of me now in Brady. I've prepared myself for this fight. I've prepared myself the best I can, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready for this fight. I'm ready for war this weekend, you know? to capture the title. For me, this is history in the making, you know what I mean? And inshallah, I'm going to do it, you feel me? So I'm ready.
I've got a fun one for you. We've been asking all the fighters something that happened in the house that maybe didn't make it on air that you feel like the fans might have enjoyed. We heard about the howler chugging. We heard about some naked running through the apex. I'm wondering if you had any stories of things that didn't air.
Yeah, you said a couple of them already. Yeah, like, you know what I mean. The homie Lampros, he did the howler chug. That was cool. You know what I'm saying. I know Ryder and my boy Battles. Like the last 6 days, they crashed the Ortega practice. They went streaking or something. They were just wilding. You know what I'm saying. But I guess I would say my favorite part that didn't make it onto the show. I get it. They only got 45 minutes to make every episode. But my favorite part was for sure whenever me and the whole blue team, they surprised us. Volkanovski surprised us on the Saturday, and we all got to go out to the Apex on a Saturday and watch UFC Fight Night live. You feel me? And that was incredible. The main event that night was Rodriguez versus Watterson was that night. But the also coolest part of it too was the co-main event that night was my boy Morono and Cowboy Cerrone was the co-main that night. And I had no idea neither. I didn't find out until 2 days, 3 days, 4 days prior when I was at practice because we don't know nothing. And then basically Cowboy came to train with us, and that was an incredible experience too, man, to be able to just dab up Cowboy, train and everything like that. And, tell him man, you're a legend of the sport, bro. All respect to Cowboy. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching him since I was a young boy. And he broke the news. He goes, yeah, I was just sitting here. I was sitting like this on the side. And then Cowboy goes, yeah, I got a new replacement, Diego Sanchez. He's not fighting this weekend, and now I got another guy named Alex Morono. And I look at her, I go, what? I go, wait, what? Morono, that's my brother. I was like, dude, you fighting Morono? And we don't know nothing that's going on because we've been trapped in isolation, And I go, dude, this is insane. Me and Morono, we've been boys since we were teenagers. You know what I'm saying? You fighting him this weekend, he's going to be here. I'm not going to get to see him or nothing because I'm trapped in this isolation house. This is insane. You know what I mean? But then it just so happened, too, that on Saturday, Volkanovski had surprised us, and we all got to go to the fights, you know what I'm saying? We got to get dressed up. They said, take your mics off. We took off those necklaces for 2 hours, you know what I mean? We got to put on clothes, any clothes we wanted. It didn't have to be the same tough clothes we were wearing all season. Got to get dressed up, you know what I'm saying? Looking good. We went into the Apex. Man, I wish I could just really paint the picture for y'all as best we could because they really treated us like we were celebrities when we came in, walking through the halls. I had literally, too, just won my first round fight 2 days prior. I had one on Thursday, and on Saturday we went to the Apex to watch this, and we were like one of the first audience members to go and see live fights. We watched it from the very first prelim fight all the way to the last fight of the night. Incredible fights all night from beginning to end. Even the fighters that were there fighting, they were like, oh, there's people here. And we were like, yeah, let's go. It was all 12 of us. It was all 12, 13 of us from the team. We were just a small little audience, and we were just yelling the top of our lungs, having so much fun. And then, obviously in the co-main event, it was Morono versus Cowboy. And all respect, you know what I'm saying? But it was old boy Cowboy, he a legend, you know what I mean? But I was very happy for Morono that he got the victory, and I saw him, everything like that. It was for a brief, only 60 seconds we saw each other, you know what I mean? But I gave him the biggest hug of my life, you know what I'm saying? And I was in there with the tears, you know what I'm saying? I told him, I go, bro, it's like a dream, bro. It's like we living in a dream. It's like a movie, bro. This is incredible. And that memory will be a memory that I take with myself forever until I'm an old man with gray hair, you know what I'm saying? And it was a great moment between me and my boy Morono. Yay, man. I love you, bro. You know what's up, baby. You feel me, man? Thank you, guys. I really appreciate y'all. Know what I'm saying? Having a good time. Let's go.
Jared, obviously, last time we saw you, you picked up the win, got off the little streak. How important was that for you to kind of put the losses behind?
I think it was really important, especially mentally. You know what I mean? To put in all the work I put in, it was just icing on the cake that I got the submission record. But I definitely needed that.
Yeah. I mean, you've been around the game for so long. Do doubts start to creep in or whatever? Like when you have a couple setbacks like that, we're like, oh, where do I stand? Do I belong here or anything?
I won't say there's like no doubts. I mean, you have the pre-fight jitters. Anyone who says that goes away, they are lying to your face. Like, I'll tell you right now, I've talked to guys. We had a Muay Thai fighter come to our gym before, had like 300 fights, and one of our guys asked him, was like, you nervous for fights? He's like, yes, always. He's like, it never goes away? Never. That's 100% true. But as far as like beforehand, like, I've had my back against the wall so many times in these fights, and like it's just like, all right, I just got to go fight again. If I do my absolute best, I got nothing to complain about, so it is what it is.
That's awesome. So then you're back 4 months later, and they give you this name, this hot prospect, incredible record, whatever. What do you think? I mean, did you know the guy when they gave you his name?
No, I didn't, being honest. Also, though, the reason I didn't know is because they called me when I was literally in the hospital and my son had just been born, so I was kind of preoccupied with stuff at that point.
Congrats.
But I looked him up, like you said, hot young prospect, really good record. He looks good, he moves good. It's a great challenge, and I look forward to fighting him.
Nice. So you just had a son. Were you like, don't call me? I mean, did you want some time off, or were you happy that they called and booked a fight?
My knee-jerk reaction was like, I got to talk to my wife. Like, I got to figure this out. And then I kind of did the math. I was like, no, we actually got a good amount of time. Like, this is okay. But, I don't want to turn down fights. But I was kind of focused on one thing at that point.
Yeah, no doubt. Is that your first?
Yeah, that's the first one. Little boy.
Congrats on that. What's life been like? Obviously, your sleep schedule changes. Your daily routine changes. How much different has life been in this training camp?
Man, I'm so lucky. That kid has slept through the night 8 to 9 hours at a crack, like, after barely being alive a month. So I can't complain about nothing. I took a little bit of time at first, and I was like, okay, we'll trade off who wakes up, so it's okay. And even then, it wasn't bad. But man, he just eats and sleeps and smiles. I'm like the luckiest guy on earth to have, like, where I need recovery, I really need sleep to perform my best. He's like, I don't know if he just gets it or what, but I'm all good.
That's awesome. So the matchup, once you figure out who the guy is, you go study him a little bit. I mean, at this point in your career, are you a big tape studier? I mean, you go really break it down or not?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I'm as big as some guys, but I definitely look for tendencies. I want to see how they move, try to figure out the reasons behind they do what they do, if they got any tendencies and stuff like that. And, I learned a lot watching his tapes. I watched mostly his UFC fights because those are, like, the last couple of years the most recent. And, really good. Liked what I saw. I saw some things to capitalize on, but I saw a lot of things where it's just going to take me being a little bit more disciplined, a little bit faster, beating him to the spot, and it's an exciting challenge for me.
Was there any part of you that was like, why do they keep giving me these prospects? Like, what the new hot guy on the block? Why do I have to fight him?
I'm kind of used to that now, so honestly, I didn't really think about it. And everyone keeps reminding me, like, oh, why do they all? Every time I tell, why do they keep making you fight these? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm in the UFC. I got to fight whoever they give me. And to that point, too, I always hear about these other guys like, oh, yeah, they gave us a list of names and I picked him. I have never gotten a list. It's always been like, you're fighting this dude. Deal with it. I'm like, okay, here we go.
I dig. The last thing for me, what kind of fight do you think we see here? I mean, are you looking to go out and do something special? Or is it just get a win and get back home to the family? I mean, what kind of fight are we going to see?
High pace, high action. My cardio's through the roof for this fight. This guy always moves and is very active, so it's going to be however long it takes in there. I plan to be 6 inches in front of his face the whole time throwing leather, and, we'll figure it out whether I knock him out or choke him out, but whatever happens, there's going to be a lot of action.
Easy. Good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good to see you again, sir.
It's good to see you again as well.
Finals, you made it here, right? I mean, the journey, I guess, is still going, but I mean, you got to this part. Obviously, that's no easy accomplishment. So, what's the feel for you right now?
Man, I mean, it's really cool, but I mean, it's just like the last time I was here talking to media. I said I fully expected to win the competition, so this isn't something that's like really surprising. It's really cool being here, but this is where I expected myself to be, and on Saturday I expect myself to win on Saturday as well. So
Very nice. I guess your overall feel of how the experience will probably change depending on the result on Saturday. But right now, how would you describe the time of the Ultimate Fighter? It's been a while since we had the show.
No, no matter what happens from this point on, my experience on the show was so incredible, man. I've said it once and I'll say it a million times. I mean, Volk, Craig, Uncle Joe, Frank, Woody, Colby, all those guys, the whole coaching staff, they were all amazing. Volk was an incredible example of like not only of what it was like to be a champion fighter, but what it was like to be a professional. It's just the guys on my team, they were all awesome. We all put in work every day. We all got better together. So it was a great experience. No matter what happens, I'll always look back on the Ultimate Fighter very fondly.
That's awesome, man. So you make it to the finals, and then you get an opponent switch a couple weeks out, right? Give me, what your initial thoughts were. How much did that change everything for you, getting a new opponent?
It was kind of a bummer because I really wanted to fight Tresean. You know what I'm saying? Me and Tresean, we've almost gotten booked to fight each other multiple times, even before this show. Like we almost fought each other for $300 to show, $300 to win in Myrtle Beach last year, right before COVID started, and so it was just going to be a really cool thing. But unfortunately, Trey's out. Gilbert's in. I couldn't be happier for Gil. Gil's a cool dude. Obviously we spent a lot of time together in the house. Totally different fighting style, completely different fighting style. But, fortunately, I just feel incredibly sharp right now, just overall. We were game planning for Tresean. We were preparing ourselves for his skill set, but I just feel so sharp overall. It doesn't really matter who's stepping in right now. I feel like I can handle the business. So, yeah, I feel all right.
You feel like you have to fight Tresean at some point, or maybe this was like the Habib Tony Ferguson of tough, but it just never comes together.
Man, my wife thinks that this is like a sign that fight's never meant to happen, and if it happens, cool. If otherwise, I'm not going to think too much about it. I'm going to keep on doing my thing. I'm going to keep on, continuing my professional career. I can't sit here getting caught up on, one person, like a whole what-if situation. So, maybe, that's it, maybe. Who knows, It'd be cool. But, if it doesn't, whatever. So.
In the meantime, does fighting a teammate prove more challenging? Does it make it difficult or change how you approach the fight?
What's interesting about this, and I'm be curious to know if Gilbert feels the same way. Even though I've had a small amount of time to get ready for this specific opponent, the familiarity that I have from training with him actually, makes my knowledge of him way. I have a greater knowledge of him than I have of someone who I've never, sparred with or rolled with, but I've watched tons of tape on them. So it's really interesting. Fighting a teammate, but. But at the end of the day, it's a fight. So you just have to go in there and fight and, see who's the better man. So, we'll see, man. We'll see.
Very nice. Last thing for me, what would victory mean to you here? I mean, winning the Ultimate Fighter, I know it's just a step in the journey, I guess, but still a big accomplishment. So, what would this win mean for you?
Man, it would be huge, because, this is one of those things where me personally, I know the likelihood of me ever being in a situation like this ever again is like never gonna happen, you know. So to be able to be the ultimate fighter, you know, that's something that, you know, I'll be able to carry with me to my grave, you know what I'm saying? And this is the only chance I'll ever have to win that. So you know, it would be tremendous. You know, it'd probably be the biggest, you know, individual accomplishment I've ever had in my, you know, personal life. So it would be huge. It would be huge.
We've had some crazy stories from some of the guys about what's been happening in the house that we didn't get to see on TV.
Yeah.
I heard about the Howler Head incident and the running around naked. I'm curious if you have any fun stories you want to share with us.
Who told you the running around naked story? That should be my story.
Well, give us the details. Then we only heard very little.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, and you know, this is why I was so surprised that no nudity made the TV, because there was multiple occasions. The first time, I'll just go into the best ones. I'm not gonna go into all of them. I'll go into the best ones. But the first time Volk had came over to the house and he was doing like a little cookout for me and the boys, and towards the end, me and Ryder, we were playing Volk and Uncle Joe in a game of pool, and the losers had to go do, you know, to quote Volk, a nudie run, you know what I'm saying? And so you know, Volk is like low-key pretty good at pool, and Uncle Joe was in my head, you know what I'm saying? He was talking mad junk, and I don't know if it was the accent or, you know, how old he was. It was really messing with me. So me and Ryder, we got smoked, and yeah, we ran around the whole house butt naked. Bless the heart, there was this one production lady who had no idea. We came around the corner, around the house, and she was like, oh, you know, but... And then the next time, it was like right before we left the house, me and Ryder, we had Scrappy, you know, introduce us, give us like a, you know, like a basketball style introduction, and yeah, we went out and streaked through the Apex Center during Ortega's team practice. So, you know, we just wanted to give them a farewell gift because, you know, we just appreciated sharing the gym with them so much. So, yeah, you know, no streaking made it. We played this one game of speed Jenga. It was one of the nights where there was like multiple people under the influence. Everyone was pretty, like, for the most part, professional during the whole course of the show, but there was a couple nights where people like let loose, and it was always, I mean, maybe it was funnier being there and, you know, maybe being under the influence as these things are happening, but yeah, there was a bunch of stuff that happened that didn't make TV that I thought was kind of like would have been TV gold, but, you know, I'm not a producer, so I don't know, you know, what I'm talking about necessarily.
For the record, I believe it was Gilbert who told us the story, so it must have left a lasting impression on him.
You know, all right, if it's Gilbert, I'll give it a pass, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, he might have had to see something that he wasn't ready for, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time, but you hit the nail on the head earlier, of course, but at the end of the day, it's a fight, like you said. But what were some of the adjustments you had to make, if any, for your new opponent? Like,
I mean, you know, you don't have to get too complicated with it. I mean, if you just like look at, you know, his tail of the tape versus Trayshawn's tail of the tape, you know, you'll notice that, you know, Trayshawn's a lot shorter, doesn't have the reach that Gilbert has. You know, Trayshawn didn't wrestle like Gilbert wrestled. With that being said, Gilbert isn't as fast as Trayshawn is, you know what I'm saying? So they're both extremely dangerous fighters. They're just dangerous in different ways. So it was more or less kind of like making mental notes on just like little things. Like if I end up in certain positions where I would have felt like I had more liberty to do certain things in certain situations against Trey, now against Gilbert I have to react differently because of Gilbert's skill set. So just nothing crazy, just little minor things me and my coaches have talked about.
Okay, excellent. And one last mental note. Not much of a choice, but would you have preferred being in front of a live audience, some fans saying your name, or you're good with the apex and that, that quiet, you could hear your coach type level?
Man, I wanted all the fans. I wanted all the noise. I wanted all the energy. It would have been awesome. Oh, man. Because, and granted, I'm not going to, take this for granted. This will still be, an amazing experience. But on the show, we fought twice in the Apex with no fans. You know what I'm saying? And so if we would have been able to have the finale in front of fans, that would have been a whole new experience. And that would have just put the, cherry on top of, this crazy ice cream sundae. You know what I mean? Fans would have been awesome. It'll probably be less... I'll probably be less anxious with there being no one in the audience, but I would have rather had fans there.
All right, excellent. Thank you, and best of luck Saturday.
Thank you. Sweet. Thank you, guys. Oh.
So welcome back. It's been, I think, about 17 months at this point. So, what's the emotion like for you right now, being back on a fight week again?
Yeah, it's a little, it's different than what I remember, for sure, especially dealing with all these COVID protocols and all this. This is my first time dealing with it. It's different. The nerves are a little different. You think about it for so long, and then now it's like we really about to get in there and do this shit. So I'm excited.
Nice. Welterweight, I imagine a little bit easier fight week, a better fight week for you, a little more pleasant to be around?
Yeah, I'm in a little better mood, but it honestly feels the same a little bit. The nerves and everything leading up to the weigh-ins.
Yeah. Do you feel any regret that you didn't make this decision earlier to stay at welterweight? Is there any you're just being kind of hard-headed and saying, I'm going to be a lightweight?
A little bit. There was that, but I think now is the right time, and my last fight kind of showed me that too. Is now is the right time, and all this stuff that I've been through over this last year, actually weight training for the first time, and actually putting size on my body and sticking to it. It seems like this is the right one.
Nice. How difficult has the time away been for you? I know you like to compete, and obviously you like to get paid too, I'm sure. So how tough has it been?
Yeah, you go through. There's been a growing process for sure. Not being able to compete. There's one thing in kind of sitting out and just taking a couple times, but there's another in not being able to do it. So going through my knee surgeries and barely even being able to walk and run and jump, it took a while for me to really get that itch again, and really be able to scratch it. So I'm excited I can finally do it on Saturday.
I guess the benefit of a loss and some time away is maybe there's not all the spotlight attention hype at the moment. I'm sure it would come back really quickly with a little win streak, but do you almost welcome that to kind of get away from it? It seemed like the spotlight was so intense on you for a while.
Yeah, that has been one of the good things about it. I was able to kind of shy away from the media. If I wanted to get out there and put my name out there, I feel like that was there, but just being able to kind of step back and kind of focus on what I needed to me, I'm making history, and I don't think I've seen anybody in the sport come back from 2 knee surgeries within a year. So that took a lot of time and focus, and I had to kind of get away from the promotion and all this side of it in order to do it right and actually put together a championship run. The first time I fought for a championship, it just kind of fell into my lap, just off of popularity, and like you said, it was a big spotlight on me. But this time I can kind of walk myself into the light, and when I get there, I'll be a lot more prepared.
That's awesome. What'd you think when they originally gave you kind of the young, undefeated prospect guy? Did you was part of you like, hey, what are we trying to do here?
Nah, not really. I mean, I felt like we were the same. You know, we were both the same age, about the same size. His skill set's very similar to mine, so I thought it was an even fight. I didn't look at it like they were trying to hype somebody else up off of me, for sure.
Nice. Then you get the change in matchup. What did you think when they came to you with the new name? Was this an opponent that appealed to you, or is it just something that you got to do to stay busy and get a fight?
At first, that's what it was. It's just I just want to fight. You know, I went through almost 12 different guys trying to find a fight. So when he stepped up and he wasn't one of those names even, I just was excited to get in there and do it. And it didn't really put too much. I had never really heard of him before. I remember the big 1986 on his chest, and that's about it. But then as the fight got announced and people start calling me, and people from the streets and from the prisons that had heard of this dude before, who he built up a little street reputation, that gave me a little bit of extra motivation to go out there and get this done and really, really take him seriously. He's solid. He's a good Mexican southpaw boxer, and that style has given me trouble in the past, so it's going to answer a lot of questions for me.
That's awesome. Last thing for me, what is the goal here, man? Is it just get back in there and, get a win and get a paycheck and all that, or do you feel like, you got to go in there and do something spectacular and show like, hey, I'm still that guy, I haven't gone away?
Yeah, I'm not, it's never about a paycheck. It has been. This one totally isn't. Like I said, I've been away from the sport for 18 months with no paycheck, and it's fine. This one is about showing my level of skill against his. I feel like I'm already top 5 in this division, and after a good performance and really going out there and showing up as me, that's going to show.
Kevin, thank you for taking the time. If there were too many or none, how many adjustments did you make in fight camp to the height and reach of D-Rod, his game plan, how he has that great jab, so on and so forth?
Yeah, we had to make a lot of adjustments. Getting ready for Sean Brady, who was more of a wrestling style, I had to switch up my stance even. And with that, you switch up a lot of the techniques and the game plan. But working with Faraz Zahabi, working with Eric Nixick, and my longtime Dewey Cooper, working with them, we came up with the right game plan very fast, and within 2 or 3 weeks, I was able to put it together.
And obviously, touch on that a little bit. It must have kind of raised a little flag if people were hitting you up, making sure you came correct against D-Rod if he had developed that credibility to where like, hey, he's on your radar now.
Yeah. At first, it was just, let's just get out there, let's just show off, let's just fight, and just show up as me. But then when I got people that are like, no, this dude's serious, it's like that kind of raised the stakes for me a little bit. We can say what we want to about this game, but this is a fight that we getting into at the end of the day, and ain't nobody ever beat my ass, so he ain't gonna do it either.
And lastly, COVID protocols, Apex, knee surgery. How's the progress been, the evolution of Kevin Lee? Because not that long ago, you were at like a Lee's Discount Liquor here doing autograph signings, and people were coming through.
Yeah.
Where are you at now, mentally, emotionally?
There's been a big mental growth in learning patience and learning to trust in myself a little bit. There have been times where I've had some mental lapses in the octagon. The only way we're really going to know if I've overcome them is on Saturday. But going through this whole process this last year, I really felt like I have in being able to trust in myself and really believe in my ability to go out there and actually perform and not step into my own way. There's been some self-sabotage of knowing that so many people can see I could be this great superstar in this sport and all this, and there's some self-sabotage that comes along with that, and it takes a growing process in order to overcome that.
Excellent. Trust in the process, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. All good? Thank you. Quick and simple.
See, Edson, curious, at this point in your career, does a main event still feel special or big, or is it just, hey, another day at the office?
No, of course, I feel special. It's a main event. It's awesome because I'm looking back. I was in UFC almost 11 years, and still people are excited to watch me. It's motivated me a lot. I was very, very happy for the opportunity to fight main event again. Yeah, I'm very, very happy.
That's awesome. A couple of wins as well, which I know is important. What's been the key? Has anything changed or clicked with you that's gotten you back on the right streak?
Yes, I changed a little bit, Last couple camps, last 2 camps, and this one too, not 3 camps. I understand I'm getting older, and this crazy click in my career because a couple years ago I always kill me. I always kill myself, in the training camp. Every fight I go, I get hurt in the camp, And I learned about that, and today I feel better than ever, healthy, no injuries, the best shape in my life, stronger, faster, I can jump higher. That's crazy. I really feel better shape of my life.
That's amazing. Not that you're at the end of your career, but as you said, 11 years in the UFC. Have you thought about how long you do want to keep doing this?
It's crazy because if you asked me this couple years ago, I would probably say, I definitely want to do this for a long time because I'm beat up my whole body. But today I feel like, bro, I really can't do this for a long time, I feel great. I know, man, I feel this motivates me a lot because I know I have a long way in my career.
That's awesome. So they come to you with the name Giga Chikadze. Obviously, he's new almost compared to you. I mean, what did you think when they offered you this fight? Were you excited by it, or did you think, I don't even know the guy?
He's a great fighter. He have a 6 fight in UFC. I watch. He's looking great. His fight, his wins, and when UFC offers me this fight, I say yes, of course, because I'm a fan. I love to watch good fights. And I see this fight in the paper, I know it's going to be a great fight. I know people are going to watch this fight. This motivates me a lot. That's why I say yes for this fight, because it's going to be a war.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think we all think it's going to be an absolute war. Do you have to go in with a different mindset or a different feel? Or every time you go in there, it's like a war, right?
Yes. Like I said, I always prepare myself for war. It's a little different because the main event, it's 25 minutes. But, yeah, man, it's going to be fun.
If you see a takedown, if you're like, man, I could take him down pretty easy right now, will you look for it, or are you going out there just to strike? Because he says he has better striking than you, and he wants to prove it.
Yeah, I really don't worry about what he said. Really don't care. But it's an MMA fight. It's not a kickboxing. It's not a boxing, I'm ready to fight. Wherever these fights go, I'm ready,
Nice. Last thing for me, what's the goal here? Obviously, is it imperative that you get a win and keep this winning streak going, or can you go out there and put on some crazy fight of the year type fight and maybe come up short and still be happy that it was a great fight?
My goal is to go there, have fun. I know if I go there and give my best, it's going to be a great fight, I never think about there. I go there, just finish, I go there, because I know if I go there, I fight. Bro, I have 25 fights in UFC. All those fights, I go there and fight, It's going to be a great fight, I know.
Edson, português agora. Edson, você vai enfrentar o Giga, que você é o número 9, ele é o número 10. Luta muito dura, 2 trocadores. Ao mesmo tempo, você vem de 2 vitórias seguidas. Você esperava talvez um atleta na sua frente do ranking, que o desafio é muito grande e talvez, entre aspas, a recompensa não seja tão grande assim.
Lógico que eu queria lutar com alguém que estivesse na minha frente do ranking, mas eu sou lutador primeiro, eu amo isso, amo lutar, e esse é um tipo de luta que me motiva, cara, porque quando eu olho no papel o estilo dele, o jeito dele lutar, o meu estilo, eu falei, puta, esse cara vai ser uma guerra, meu irmão, vai ser uma grande luta. Então, é um tipo de luta que me motiva muito, porque eu tenho certeza que vai ser uma grande luta. Por isso foi um dos motivos de eu ter aceitado essa luta. E ser main event, Então acho que foi perfeito essa luta nesse momento.
Depois de tanto tempo sem fazer um main event, mexe ainda com você uma emoção de liderar um card do UFC?
Com certeza, é muito especial fazer a luta principal do UFC, e eu tive essa oportunidade antes e tendo essa oportunidade agora. Os anos vão se passando e eu continuo aí tendo essa chance. Eu estou muito feliz com isso.
São dois trocadores de alto calibre, né? Sem revelar a sua estratégia, obviamente. Você consegue adiantar algum detalhe onde possa estar a chave para a vitória para você?
Chave da vitória é ir lá e me divertir, fazer o que eu fiz na academia, cara, essas últimas semanas. Ir lá e dar o meu melhor, cara. Tenho certeza que se eu for lá e dar o meu melhor, essa vitória vai vir.
O fato do octógono ser menor, né, um tamanho reduzido, para o seu estilo, que aproveita muito a área do queijo, se movimenta muito bem, em teoria, pode ser ruim para você, um queijo menor?
Não, até porque eu fiz os sparring, os treinos num espaço reduzido já, então a gente reproduziu tudo isso lá na América Top Team, então eu vou estar preparado ali, eu acho que não vai fazer muita diferença ali com o octágono um pouco menor, não.
Certo, vencendo essa luta, uma luta de 5 assaltos, o que a gente pode esperar para depois? Talvez o Edson lute ainda esse ano mais uma vez. É possível que a gente se priorize agora lutas de 5 assaltos, main events. Daqui para frente não tem para onde correr, né? Só aperta.
Com certeza, cara. Mas eu quero lutar de novo, cara. Eu amo isso. Eu amo lutar, sem dúvida nenhuma. Lógico, ganhando essa luta. Eu quero lutar com quem estiver na minha frente, que vai me dar a chance de talvez mais uma e ter a chance do cinturão. Mas eu quero lutar esse ano ainda, de novo, cara. Quero lutar em dezembro. Já falei com o meu empresário, eu falei, eu tenho que lutar até no final de dezembro, porque eu vou para o Brasil de férias. Eu estou mais de um ano sem Brasil, eu tenho que ver minha família, eu estou morrendo de saudade. E eu tenho 2 semanas de férias por causa do meu filho, né, do colégio dele. Então, eu falei, eu quero lutar até no final de dezembro.
Last one for me, guys. Depois de tanto tempo competindo no UFC, depois de tanto tempo em alto nível, né, no topo do ranking, esse desafio que você tem de se manter ao mesmo tempo competindo com o topo do MMA, ao mesmo tempo você está ficando mais velho, né? Como fazer para deixar o treino mais inteligente, continuar no alto nível, manter a recuperação do seu corpo dia após dia, treino após treino?
Como eu falei, a gente vai ficando mais velho, a gente vai aprendendo, né? A gente aprende, às vezes, do jeito errado, mas a gente aprende. E hoje eu estou no melhor shape da minha vida, sem dúvida nenhuma, porque hoje eu consigo entender um pouco o meu corpo melhor. Antigamente eu me machucava muito, cara. Todas as lutas praticamente eu ia machucado. Então, agora não tenho problema nenhum em tirar um dia sem treinar. E antigamente impossível. Tirar um dia off? Não, impossível. Eu sempre treinava machucado. Mas hoje eu consigo entender o corpo, meu corpo melhor. E eu estou no melhor shape da minha vida, cara. E se preparem, podem ter certeza que vão ver o melhor Edson Barboza que já pisou no octagon.
Obrigado.
You doing, sir?
How's it going?
Good. It's no Fury professional grappling, but how does it feel to be, on a UFC fight week here?
Feels good. It's definitely a dream come true. Great opportunity. I mean, I put a lot of time into this sport. I put a lot of time into wrestling and MMA, so I'm slowly getting there, slowly starting to get closer to the dream, to the goal.
When did you get the call to find out that you were going to be on this card?
I think it was 10 or 11 days before Saturday, so it was like 10 or 11 days out. Yeah, I was in Acme. It's like a random number from Texas, and I'm like, usually I would never answer it. I'd be like, this is definitely spam, and I don't know, for some reason I had I should answer this phone call, and I call. He's like, hey, it's Mick Maynard. Just want to know if you can make weight next week, and I'm like, yeah, of course. And he's like, all right, I'll be in touch. I hang up, and then I'm like walking through the aisle like, that was definitely a prank phone call. Like there's no way. And then I'm like, why is he calling me, not my manager? And then I call my manager. He's like, yeah, it's real. And I was like, awesome.
That's great. So was there any who's the opponent or what are we facing? And was there any talk of that?
It didn't matter, to be honest. I was at that point I didn't know that Tresean was out. So I was kind of like, is it Urbina? I didn't expect Mike, to be honest, but I would have loved the rematch, obviously. I would have loved another chance at the finale. I think everyone saw how that first round went. But, I'm happy, man. I'm getting another opportunity, so, I can't complain.
No doubt. So before getting this other opportunity, how would you have described your time on the show? Like when you walked away, were you frustrated or bitter or anything like that?
So I was kind of under the impression that that they were going to have a card around all the tough contestants and the coaches, obviously. And then I saw that they announced Ortega and Volkanovski were in September on the pay-per-view card, and I was like, that's weird. And I kind of figured that meant that they weren't going to fight on the same card as us. And then when I saw the finale, and I was just kind of under the impression that I was going to be on the finale, and I saw the finale and it had 14 fights on it. And I was like, oh, man, that's not good. I had a bad feeling, and I really was excited because I had two teammates on the same card, Pat Sabatini and Sean Brady. So, I was kind of like, oh, man, that sucks. That would have been a great opportunity. And then I got the call. Yeah.
That's awesome. So how much were you training? Were you training as if there was going to be a fight for you this week, or did you not because you didn't have the call?
I'm always in the gym. Like, if I miss 2 days, my coach is up my ass, so I'm always in the gym for sure. I just probably didn't do as much little glove sparring as I would normally do, but we're always ready. We're always training. Yeah. That's
awesome. What do you think about the matchup stylistically?
What's not to love? Besides the obvious of he's been submitted 3 or 4 times. I think it was 3 times, and I submit majority of my opponents. That's a huge factor. It's rare that I get to fight a guy that's shorter than me, for sure, especially at 85. What's not to love about the matchup, for sure.
Nice. Last thing for me, I guess, what's the goal here, man? Is it just go get a win and secure your place in the UFC, or is it go do something spectacular and make people go, that's the guy we got to pay attention to? What's the goal?
Look, I'm not going out there to do backflips and stuff, but I'm here to make a statement for sure. I'm here to make a statement that says, look, I'm here to stay. I'm dangerous for anyone I fight, and I'm the best in the world at what I do, for sure.
I've asked all the guys so far today about their time on Tough and things that didn't air, some fun stories. We've heard some crazy stuff already. I'm curious if you have any stories you want to share with us.
That's the golden question today, or at least this week. There was a lot of great moments in the house, especially that didn't make the show, for whatever the format is. But it's funny, before my quarterfinal, there was this bird stuck in our house, and I got the pool net out and caught the bird and released it, and it was in the middle of a really boring day. It was eventful. Probably doesn't sound that much. So I go out and win the quarterfinal, and then right before my semifinal, we were all sitting by the pool, and there was this bird just acting weird again, and someone said hey, look at that bird. Next thing you know, the bird jumps in the water, and we're like, that's weird. Drowns itself in the pool. So I pull it out. We got nothing else to do. I pull the bird out, and we start trying to give it the chest compressions. Long story short, we don't save the bird. The bird dies. We have like a proper burial for it and everything. And I was like, I remember going back inside and be like, that cannot be a good sign for like what today's gonna happen. But it is what it is. Yeah.
That's definitely not the kind of
Fucking
story
bird.
I expected. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Sorry, Gilmore.
Thank
You good? Good to see you. First fight in Las Vegas, right? Does it feel like a big moment in your career?
Hey everybody. It's not big chance and big for my career. I'm here for a win for every Abu Dhabi, Europe, and here my goal and go to cage and a win.
Yeah. When you get to Vegas, though, do you go to Floyd Mayweather's house and hang out with Floyd, or what?
No, maybe after fight, because now I'm focusing on my fight. You know, it's in Miami, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Talk about the performances that you've had so far. I mean, 3-0 in the UFC, 2 bonuses. How do you feel about your career thus far?
I'm coming for my next win and for my next bonus. I'm only joking. I'm coming in for my win because I'm first time I have a full camp. 3 fights in UFC. I have only 1 week, 8 days, and Copenhagen after Trevor Smith in Washington. I have 20 days after 4 weeks. You know, now I have a full camp and I have a good opponent, Gerald. He have a good jiu-jitsu, and fight is starting in a stand-up.
Yeah. What did you think about the matchup? When they gave you the name of Gerald, did that excite you, or did you know who he was?
No, I know his guy because I see in Hamzat his fight, because before I'm in the UFC, I see his fight, and I don't know his guy, it's small guy from DC, AK, you know, it's Win and...
Win, yeah.
Yeah. I see his guy, I told my manager, man, I need to go to UFC and fighting in his guy. Before 3 years, now I'm here, you know, I'm fighting in a Gerald.
Why? Why did you think?
I don't know, because I know I win his guy. My style is good for this fight, you know. It's not striker. It's not have a bad strike, and I'm better in my striking. I have a footwork, and I think my grappling it's not bad, and I see.
He said his goal is to be very aggressive, to stay in your face the whole time. Is that a fight that you want to see? Is that the type of fight that you like?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I like fighting in my life. Now I'm prepared hard for this fight, and I'm ready for everything.
Very nice.
Everything.
And I think people are starting to look at you as a real prospect, you know, maybe a contender. Do you welcome that, or do you want to?
Yeah. Why no? I'm here for I'm representing my country in Uzbekistan and Czech Republic. You know, now it's in MMA. It's popular in my country. I'm opening my organization in Uzbekistan. You know, for young guys, it's good. It's why no?
So you're promoting fights in Uzbekistan?
Yeah. I'm small Dana White in Uzbekistan.
Very nice.
Maybe one day you're coming.
Hey,
maybe.
We'll go check it out.
Every time, you're welcome.
I appreciate
Everybody,
that.
guys.
I appreciate that. Well, last thing from me, what's the goal here? I mean, do you want to go like get another performance and show the world that you're a contender? Or is it just win and keep going?
I'm coming to my next win, and maybe finishing. And I'm coming to win, you know, because I'm hard work in my team. 3 months, I'm working hard, you know. I'm come here, I feel good, my weighting is good, I have a 3 kilo more, it's easy work, and I show you my my normal Makhmud Muradov, because 3 fights, it's short notice, you know. Sorry about my English, I'm trying, you know, I'm working for my English. Sorry, guys.
That's damn good.
Thank you, guys, sorry. Thank you so much, guys, thank you.